what were your thoughts on getting a point here tonight at home?
Yeah, definitely disappointed we didn't get the 3. The second half, the performance was better. We expected the response after Vegas. Very difficult conditions, so...
97 degrees at the start of the game, yeah.
Yeah, tough conditions. The level wasn't great from us, but the response was important. The performance was important. First half, we were okay. We needed to clean up a little bit in some places, but second half, way better on the attacking side of the game. But defensively, we were not compact enough. That was a theme throughout the game, is front to back, left and right, we were just too open. And they played through us a couple of times, got a few transition moments in those situations, and then of course they get us on one with the goal as well. So frustrating, but we come away with a point.
A lot of changes from the game in Vegas. I just have to assume a lot of it was down to the fact that that was midweek, a lot of heat, and just a chance to rest some players and see if you could get some fresh legs out there. And it was 97 degrees, I think.
It was. I think at kickoff it was just about 102, or felt like a little more. Yeah, I mean it's in the past, but we were beat. We were exhausted. Guys were in a rough place. Let's just say that. So for the body to recover after that type of punishment, it takes quite a few days. So it just made sense to put some fresh energy into the team.
There was a moment where I remember seeing like a close-up of Pierre after like a set piece or something. There was a stoppage and he just looked like a hot dog. I was like, I've never seen Pierre look like that.
It was a theme across the team. Everybody, people were having trouble breathing, dry heaving. People were almost having to come off the pitch to throw up. It was tough, but you know, no excuses. It is what it is. Performance for us, it's always that balance, right? Those conditions were tough. You have some sympathy for it, but we've got to try and find moments in the game to show some quality, and across the board we didn't really do that. So today was about a response on that.
And many times we've talked about the fact that you have these two incredible world-class 10s, and Nil got his chance tonight, one of the chances he's got to start in that role. And can you just talk about that goal?
Yeah, I think that is Nil's speciality. He loves to drift out to the left-hand side, make that fullback or whoever's defending him think he's going to the end line, cuts back in, and that first time finish, he's so good at it. We see that in training 2 or 3 times a day. So for him to get his rewards for that was fantastic.
Couple weeks break and still top of the table. Anything, any thoughts ahead of the game in a couple weeks against Westchester?
First of all, everyone's going to take a break.
Yeah.
We're going to go off and have a mental health break. We're getting into the hot end of the year. We're coming into a lot of travel. So I think it's coming at a good time for us. Everyone needs a break. So we'll refresh, come back in, and we'll reevaluate where we're at. When we come back in, we'll sharpen up some things that we need to, and then of course, as we get closer to Westchester, we'll start to prepare for them.
Coach, do you see anything specific on Texoma's goal besides just kind of getting too open on the sides or creating too many gaps, or was it just kind of a lucky opportunity for them?
Yeah, good question. No, it was not lucky. It was well orchestrated. We were not compact enough with our front two. So I think we got split, if I remember right, by them, and that's something we always talk about, is not allowing that front two being split, make the team go around you, just because it makes the game predictable. We had one of our central midfielders defending the right half space between our fullback and centre back, and then our other central midfielder was left solo. So by that pass splitting coming down the middle, he's defending 2 or 3 guys essentially, which is almost impossible. So we just left that space available, and then from there they had a good advantage getting into our box and driving us back. And then, to be fair, it was an excellent ball into the back post. Lucky was a little bit late in dropping and defending the back post run. So yeah, we got punished for it, but you know, you seek perfection in football, you don't always get it. We learn from it and we push forward.
I have an interesting one for you, but just kind of being in year 2 and at this point in your season, can you think about kind of comparing this point last season? Not the wins, not the points, but just maybe how your guys have changed performance-wise, practice-wise, preparation-wise. Is there anything that kind of sticks out that's been a difference maker for you guys?
Yeah, I think I could talk about this a lot, but we've got a lot of guys in the locker room who are good people, but also winners. They've been out in environments and won championships and cups. So that drives a different mentality in the locker room and on the field. In training every day, the level, we've probably got 2 of the better 11s in USL League One competing against each other every day in training. So you've heard the old saying, iron sharpens iron. It's like that every day in training. We're just raising the bar incrementally each day. But you can see in different departments on the pitch defensively, we're in a pretty good place. We're pretty resilient defensively. Of course, that didn't happen tonight in that one moment, but also on the attacking side as well, we've got a versatility about us in attack. So collectively across the board, the guys have done a fantastic job to this point. I mean, we've already got more points today than we finished with in the season last year. So that tells you a lot where we're at as a team right now. But we're only halfway. We've still got a long way to go. We've got a lot of travel coming up. We're going into a hot summer across the southeast and, you know, of course here. So this is the tough part of the season that we've got to be resilient in and fight through and get results.
Last one from me. Tough night defensively, but just anything that kind of went right that in your eyes that you guys want to build from?
Yeah, I think, listen, the team that we just played, they're probably in the best form they've been in so far this season defensively and going forward. We saw the dangers that they bring going forward, but most teams now are coming here and sitting in more of a lower block. Incredibly difficult to break down. So that's the thing I'm most proud of is, of course, the performance in the second half was better, but you know, finding a way to break that low block down is important. But we should have won the game. We should have had more quality in the 18-yard box. We didn't really attack the 18-yard box enough in that first half, and second half we did a little bit better, but we didn't quite have the quality to get that second goal. But they're the main things, I would say. Yeah.
About what you just keyed in on, which is the attacking contributions in the second half, is there something that you're talking to the team about in terms of expression, especially on the wings, in terms of breaking down opponents and trying to generate more threat and more like legitimate chances in the final third?
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? Because the game of football, the goal's in the middle. You want to go through the middle to get to the goal. It's the fastest route to the goal. When teams sit a little bit more low in a block, they tend to have a lot of players central, which makes it by definition harder to go through the middle. So now we've got to think about, well, how do we go around it or over it? We're always looking at options to go through, around or over, but when a team's low, it's difficult to get through. So we have to look at a lot of going round or over the opposition. So rotations out wide, numbers up out wide, creating overloads out wide, how fast we can circulate the ball if we can't go through one side to get out to the other side and take advantage of them maybe shifting slowly. There's all sorts of different ways that we work on doing it, but it's tough. It's not easy, especially when teams are organised like Texoma were tonight. It's a challenge, and when you sit low, it's a challenge, but it's something we're going to face. It's the reality of it, and we've got to find solutions to break it down.
Thanks, Coach.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think coming off Saturday's performance and result, you know, we needed a response, and I think it was great to see the response that we got with Neil's goal right before halftime. Gave us that little bit of energy. Obviously, guys were feeling a little bit fatigued coming into tonight with a quick turnaround. You know, and we weren't expecting perfection by any means, but we do have high standards for ourselves, especially in the back line. So we're obviously disappointed to give up the goal that we conceded. But for the most part, look, I think we defended quite well, and we're pretty compact, made it difficult on Texoma. They're a team who's in great form right now. And so, yes, we want all 3 points every time we step on the field, but you know, I think there's some positives certainly to build onto as we move into the second half of the year.
No. I can't help but ask about the goal. So there was an opportunity in the first half where minimal opportunity to decide what you're going to do, and you held onto the ball and you took your shot, but it was like the defender closed down, and I think if the release had been quicker, you probably would have got a chance that you were a little bit happier with.
Yeah.
It was kind of a similar moment with the goal that you scored. The keeper's off his line, and I remember shouting like, go, try to get one of those like long bombs that goes over the keeper. And little did I know you had a plan. Can you talk me through that goal?
Yeah, so of course I saw the keeper and the rebound, but it was to my left. I don't trust myself 50 yards out with my left, so I had to dribble, and I saw like a lot of teammates, like they were open too, but I saw I was 1v1 inside of the box. So I just took my chance, dribbled, and yeah, lucky enough they went in, so very, very happy.
It's like the kind of finish that you dream about. I mean, it went around the keeper, outstretched, and then pinged in off of the far post. So talk to me about what it feels like to score your first goal for Velocity FC on a week that you have had, which has been incredible with the launch of Project Inspire.
Yeah, no, of course. It was a special moment, first because I think the response, as Derek was mentioning, on the performance on Saturday was important for the team. It was an important moment in the game, and of course, personally, It's been a great week. I want to give back to the club that has believed in me and Project Inspire. And of course, for me personally, just get that goal. On top of that, my mom is in town, so of course, even more special. So, amazing day. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but very, very happy with the goal.
The place in the table, you want to talk about where you're at this moment? Leigh was just mentioning that you have, I think he said you have as many points now at this point in the season as you had all year last year. Talk to me about where Velocity FC are right now, which is still top of the table in League One.
Yeah, we're happy with it. We're not going to sit content in the second half of the year. I don't think many guys are going to dwell on where we're at. We're just going to continue to build off where we're at. You know, if we spend too much time looking at the table and focusing on that, we're not going to be focusing on the other things that are more important, which is our performances on the field. So I think as long as we keep our minds fixated on the right objectives, we're going to be just fine. And we're just going to have to continue to take it game by game.
There's a couple weeks between now and the Westchester game where you travel again, and it's going to get hot in the summer. And any thoughts going into that game after tonight's result?
Yeah, I feel like the second part of the season in League One, especially the travel that we're gonna have, it's always tougher. But again, I think the depth that we have in the squad and the energy and the commitment from all of the guys to really bring it in training and focus on the performance, not on the results. I think it's gonna carry us throughout the season, and I believe we should be on top of the league, or at least happy with what we do, and the results will come.
Last one for me. Mostly probably for Derek, but just compared to last season, Coach was kind of saying the difference maker for you guys has like been taking it up a notch in training, kind of iron sharpens iron kind of mentality. Do you feel that as well? And is that kind of something that the players also agree with?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no disrespect to the guys that were here last year that aren't here this year, but you just can see in the performances that we've had from Nil and other guys who have come in to the club, they've just raised the bar in every position. Every single day in training. So it's super fun as a guy who was here last year to see the bar get raised even higher, because I think it was pretty high, honestly, last year. But these guys have come in and just allowed us to continue pushing forward. And they've been a big part of the success that we've had so far. And as Leigh says this all the time, the iron sharpens iron. And that's what we really focus on in training. You don't get to take days off in training. If you want to be playing on the weekend, you need to be on top of it each and every day. And with the competitive atmosphere that we have and the quality in our team, you know, it's pushed us on to a great first half of the year. And as long as we continue to train that way, I think we're going to have a successful second half too.
Derek, was tonight your first night being named captain of the team?
It was.
So it kind of speaks to the depth and the strength of this overall squad. And meanwhile, like Nil, you play the same position as Luis Hill, who is typically the captain of this club and plays the same position as you. Like, can you speak a little bit about the patience that you have tried to demonstrate coming into a role with this club, playing the same position as Luis Hill, and the fact that you got a chance tonight and you had an incredible goal that helped this club earn a point?
Yeah, again, it speaks volumes from the depth that we have in the team. I've been 7 years in League One, and this is by far the team that has the most depth and the most quality and competitiveness in training. I learned so much from Luis on a daily basis, and he has so much experience. He's played MLS, he has an unreal career. So I'm happy to be in the roster, I'm happy to be in the team and contribute in the moments that I have. Of course, every player wants to play more, but I think the most important thing, and you can feel it, and it's difficult to achieve that in a collective, is that every single player wants the best for the team. So if we keep with that mentality throughout the whole year, we are going to use all of the players as we have in important moments, and we're going to achieve the results and hopefully win the championship.
I can't help but ask, how special is it for you to launch Project Inspire this week, which I can't even talk about it or I'm going to start to cry, and then to come out here in front of all these fans and score a goal? Like, can you talk about the week that you've had with this club overall and the launch of Project Inspire? Yeah,
it's very, very special. It's very close to my heart. It's been a long journey to get to this point. We've done a lot of work, not just me, but the other co-founder, Joao Gomiero, and all the volunteers that have put so many hours and trust. And I just want to thank everyone that believed in us, especially this club, which I brought it to the ownership, to Katie and Ryan and Riley, and they were right away, eager to make it happen, excited about the project, and excited of the impact that we'll have in the communities. Not just the 4 that we have, Knoxville, Colorado, Houston, and Spokane, but in the future when we expand and we make sure that equal opportunities, true opportunities, just like we are here sitting in a professional stadium, athletes with intellectual disabilities have and deserve their opportunity to compete and be treated as athletes. So again, super special, and of course getting the goal means even more. So yeah, thank you for asking though.
Can you say just one thing to Alex Ashton and his wife back in Richmond, Virginia?
Yeah, well, thank you for the support. They've been amazing. They were one of the ones that believed in the project since the start. And of course, owner of the field, I had a great community there in Richmond, and that's where the project really was born. So yeah, regards to them.
So Alex and his wife, they wore a Nil Vinyals shirt when you came back to Richmond.
Yeah.
And they wore a Velocity shirt.
Yeah, I know. It was amazing. Yeah, they showed me some pictures. So yeah, I mean, Richmond, I was there 4 years, and it was a great community. And Alex and his wife, they were amazing throughout the 4 years I was there. So
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.